This episode of Your Morning Drive is brought to you by Fireworks Co-working. They are a creative co-working space located in Marietta, Georgia, focused on supporting the local community and uplifting creative entrepreneurs. If you want to try out this beautiful space, this podcast room is just one of the many available rooms and spaces available for you and your company to work at. If you want to try them, you can. Use code DRIVE at checkout and you'll get a free day pass. So, if you're working from home, if you're working at an office that you don't have to go to, if you're tired of working at your kitchen table where you have to listen to your kids or your spouse or the lawn people in the outside cutting the grass and it's too loud for your Zoom meetings. Well, you don't have to worry about that. You can try out Fireworks Co-working in Marietta, Georgia. It's right down the street from Kettering Hospital. They are the presenting sponsor of Your Morning Drive. They offer me a beautiful space for me to be able to record my podcast with all of the creators, business owners, and other individuals that I get the pleasure of interviewing, and they can be your home too. So either go to the space, tour the place with the staff, tell them Logan Lewis from Your Morning Drive sent you, or if you're booking online, again, use code DRIVE, DRIVE, for a free day pass to try the space. Your Morning Drive is also present to us by Good Days Canned Cocktails. Good Days are a classic cocktail brand created in a convenient, ready-to-drink canned format for any occasion, whether it's a pool day, a boat day, a beach day, a graduation, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, anything in between. Good Days are there for you. Good Days are ahead when they are in your cooler, your fridge, your anything in between. Good Days has your back. If you want to be one of the first to try their drink, you can do so by visiting drinkgooddays.com/pages/find-us to find a store near you selling their drink. Of course, you must be 21 years of age to consume and purchase. Hello, everybody. How are we today? Welcome back to another great episode of Your Morning Drive. It is a pleasure to have you with us today. A couple things before we get into the episode, before we really get going. We are live today from the Fireworks studio in Marietta, Georgia. A couple things. Number one, if you can do me one solid favor and one favor alone. I just need one thing from you people today while you're listening. Just hit pause. Well, actually, you know what? Don't hit pause because then you won't hear what I'm about to tell you. What you actually need to do is keep listening to me explain and then hit pause and then unpause after you're done doing the thing. Okay, here's the thing. What you need to do is you need to hit that little share button. I'm an iPhone guy, so I know that share thing is in like the bottom left corner. I think they change it every year. Thanks, Apple, for making this difficult. So that just means 1 year, it'll probably be back in the bottom left corner. So actually, thank you for that. But either way, hit that share icon no matter what device you're on and just share it to that first person that pops up when you're sharing something to somebody. Just share it to the first person. Share it to the first person in your life, your coworker, your boss, your neighbor, your ex-boyfriend, someone in your life that needs to hear the podcast to start their day. If they listen, they can hear it on Apple or Spotify. So if you're on those platforms, you can send them a link there. Also, if you want to watch in full on YouTube, if that is the way that your boat floats, we can send them a YouTube link as well. And to make sure whatever platform you do choose, you subscribe on that platform. That way you're guaranteed an episode delivered to you every Friday, every Tuesday too, every once in a while, but mostly every Friday. Tuesdays, you get episodes when I'm just so backlogged that I need to get them out because there's nothing worse than recording an episode in November and saying, hey, you're not going to hear this till March. Been there, done that. So that's why we release them on Tuesdays every once in a while. Also, more ways to stay connected. Go ahead and follow along on the Facebooks, the Instagrams, LinkedIn, and TikTok. On those platforms, you will find episode announcements, fun clips to keep you entertained, and everything in between. Thank you again for joining us today. My guest today is a dedicated mental health and wellness educator, currently completing her dissertation for a doctorate in health psychology. With over 7 years of clinical research experience at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, she founded Shanti Living, a holistic practice focused on personal and professional growth, life strategy, and stress management, all with a mission to help others live more healthy and fulfilled lives. Please welcome my new friend, Laurel Cannon.
Hey.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm amazing. How are you?
I'm great. I feel like I have to bring you everywhere with me because that was like the best
Right?
intro ever. Yeah.
The best hype man ever.
The best hype man. You can just come with me anytime I have anything to do.
It's going to be like, if you've ever watched, I'm a history nerd. So if you ever watch those presidential State of the Union addresses, what happens is before the president walks into the House of Representatives or the Senate, whichever one it is, I don't know, Congress, wherever they are, a guy goes, "Everybody, it's the president of the United States." And then everyone stands and claps and the president walks in, shakes hands, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So you should just hire me and I will follow you around. And no matter where you are, whether it's Publix or work or an event, you're networking, whatever, I'm just going to walk in and be like, "Hey, everyone shut up. Laurel Cannon." And then start screaming, clapping, and just like running around the room like,
boom.
Woo! Like
foolproof.
Just doing that.
Absolutely.
Add that to the list of services.
Add Logan to every program in the future.
We loved it. We love that. We love that. How are you, Laurel?
I am amazing. I am doing well. One thing I always say to people is my motto, and Shanti Living's motto is be healthy, be well, be blessed.
We love
say that. Yeah, all the time. If I could put it in every email, I would. Minorly inappropriate, but I put be well now instead of best. So it's a step.
And you know what? Best is my go-to.
Okay.
And you know, you probably could make that your email signature.
So right now I'm at a point where I'll put be well, comma, Laurel. So instead of best, I try to put that at the bottom, or I'll start with, I hope all is well for all professional emails.
I like that.
Yeah. It's a little, because no one when you're sending an email saying, hey, following up on the thing you didn't respond to 3 weeks ago, adding that little buffer sometimes helps a little bit with getting the person like, oh, she's being nice, even though I sent that, March 18th of this year and didn't respond. So,
you know what's funny about that is I, the other day actually was called out for that.
What?
Because I similarly, I don't want to just get a text from somebody out of the blue that's like, hey, can you do this for me? Go here and do this and do that.
Yeah.
I want, at least for me, I like a, hey, how are you?
Yes.
You doing okay?
Thank
Good.
You.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Now get to the thing I texted you about.
Yes.
But this person was like, and I was like, hey, how are you? And they're like, it's been a while. What do you need?
Yeah.
And I was like, I was just trying to do the nice, friendly thing instead of being like, hey, dude, I haven't talked to 6 months. Can you do this thing for me?
Yes.
I just don't want people to feel like they're ever being used or taken advantage of. I don't know where that comes from. We'll find out at some point. I'm sure I'm in therapy, so we'll get there.
Oh, I love it.
We love therapy.
I love therapy.
Are you in therapy?
I am in therapy.
Is that an abrasive question to ask somebody?
It's not. It's not. When I decided to get my master's degree, I went straight to therapy. And it mostly came from this need to not be a hypocrite. I was like, how am I going to start this master's in mental health and wellness counseling and I have no counselor or therapist? So that was immediately what I went to. And she was like the first person I told when I got into the school in the first place.
Really?
Yeah. So it was a huge motivator for me to actually start therapy. Was going back to school. Yeah.
Heck yeah. I love going to therapy. I mean, it just is, it's so nice to just talk to somebody that does not give a diddly damn about your life.
Thank you. Yeah, people
who has no biasness, nothing.
That is the key you just said, is the lack of bias. Because I've heard that question come up like, why should I get a therapist? Why should I get a mental health professional? What's the point? I think the main point is having an unbiased person whose sole purpose for that 30 minutes or an hour to care only about your life, your goals, and your success. That's it. And you have one person who's dedicated to doing that as often as you want.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's the best. And I mean, it's like a doctor. I mean, find the one that you jive with the most. Like I'm a very clearly conversational person.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I can't vibe with somebody within meeting them for like 10 minutes, like I'm like, oh, this is going to be a tough conversation.
Yes.
But if someone can like take what I'm saying, listen to it, digest it, and then spit it back to me and give me a different perspective on something, which is why I love this podcast.
Yeah.
It's a good fit.
Yeah.
And I got lucky and found mine on the first try.
Wow.
I'm sure there's amazing therapists out there, but I mean, I found mine on the first try and I love it.
I love that. And I think it's a good thing you mentioned that, because normalizing, I'm not saying, fire your therapist, but I am saying normalize finding that good fit. Like you said, if the vibe isn't right, if you're not feeling, it's like meeting a new friend, not meeting a new friend, but meeting a new friend in the sense of you can meet a person in that first 5 minutes. You're like, ooh, they're nice, but the vibe just isn't.
It's not there.
It's not there. You don't feel like you could share. You don't feel like you could ever open up. That's a sign to just move on to the next person and try again.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
You just got to ultimately... Excuse me on the burps. We are sipping on Good Day. So
Good Days.
Shout out to Jason Miller and the crew over at Good Days. Cheers to this, by the way. Thanks for coming and being on the episode.
Yeah. No, Good Days. Shout out to y'all. My main feedback was that it's very easy on the stomach, and for a carbonated beverage, that can be hard to balance.
Yeah.
So, shout out to that. Yeah.
But in typical podcasting form, I started a thought and then started another thought and then forgot what I was saying. So, Laurel, can you remind me what I was saying?
I'm probably the worst person because I have the same brain as you. Like, I'll follow you where you go in this setting because I'm in my non-session mode.
Right.
I'll follow you where you go, and I'm just happily plopping along.
I love that. Thank you for being along for the ride.
Yes,
because it will be a ride.
It will be a ride. But we were talking about just being okay with switching up your therapist, your mental health professional if you need to.
Yeah, what I was going to say is ultimately you just have to find what's best for you.
Yeah.
What's best. I mean, if you're going to be spending the money also on a therapist, you damn well should do the research and find somebody that works for you, because you don't you don't want to go to a therapy appointment and leave spending $50, $100, whatever they charge, and walk out thinking, damn, that was a waste of money. You should be leaving therapy like I do, where I'm energized. I feel refreshed.
Yes.
It's like almost finishing a workout. I just kind of feel like this aura about me that I'm like,
motivated.
Okay, I got all that off my chest. Let's go and tackle the day,
I love that.
So you should just do the research.
Do your research. I agree with that completely. Do your research. And like I said, it's okay. If the vibe isn't there, it's okay to try again. I mean, I've tried multiple like yogurt brands, so I should.
That's a great example. When even like example with, I mean, you do it with everything. If you're trying a new drink you've never had before, if you're if you move to a new city and you're trying different restaurants, different bars, you're giving everybody a chance. So do the same with your medical professionals.
Absolutely. At least from a woman's perspective, the amount of time we put into finding our nail tech, our hairstylist.
Sure.
I mean, we do referral systems with the friends. So same time and energy should be put into that too.
I probably put a little too much energy finding somebody to cut my hair because there's very little of it.
No, don't do that.
Laura, all of my humor is self-deprecating. So be prepared for me to shit on myself for the next hour.
Okay.
But hey, if we get out of here and I'm like, Laurel's a good hype woman, maybe I'll start bringing you places and you just...
I got you.
I love that.
I got you.
We'll just barter.
Okay.
We want no money exchange. We'll just
for help, for confidence boosting, motivation, no self-deprecation.
We love that. We love that. But then also, like, I'm very particular. I've seen multiple different barbers on people who trim my beard. Because some of them do it wicked good.
Okay.
I won't say who they are in case they hear it.
Okay.
Well, actually, she knows who she is if she hears it.
So she does well on the beard.
For sure.
Okay.
She kills it. Just hats off to her.
Okay.
And I've seen some that are good, but not as good.
Okay.
And then I've seen people where I'm sitting there in the chair and I'm not really an asshole. Like I don't want to like.
You won't say anything.
No.
You'll just go home and be like, dang.
Yeah. Some people tell me that I should get over that because if you're paying for a service, you should get it the way you want it. And I get that.
Yeah.
But I don't. Maybe I'm non-confrontational, but the thought of like mid haircut to be like,
Yeah.
you didn't do this the way I wanted to.
No.
That sounds horrifying.
I understand what you're saying.
You know?
Because it's not even the act of saying it, it's the backlash. It's
Yeah.
the fear, the guilt of like, oh my, because you're not just asking for your haircut to be fixed, you're telling someone they did a bad job.
Right.
And that's the issue. It's not the haircut. So
Exactly.
That's difficult.
So what I've started doing is when I go and get a beard trim or a haircut, I'll tell them like a certain number.
Okay.
And then if it's too long, I'll say, okay, we'll go shorter. Let's go one down.
See, boom.
And now I found that healthy middle ground.
We love a system.
Yes.
Now it's
I love systems.
Oh, me too.
I'm so operational. We were talking a little bit before. Like I'm an operations dude.
Yeah.
If I like walk into a place and see that something is poorly run, even if I have nothing to do with the place, I'm like,
Logan,
hey, why don't y'all do this that way?
You're speaking to me because so my day job, so I'm at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, and I work in clinical research operations. Okay. So my job is the middleman between pharmaceutical companies who, have a drug that they're looking to put on the market. There has to be a entity coordinating that with hospitals who are actually taking the patients. So that's what I do during the day. And I say that to say my brain works similar to yours in the sense that it's hard for me to enter a space in my everyday life and see something crazy going on and not fix it or not try. And I have crazy stories.
So the jobs we were talking, so my day job that we were talking about a little bit before is actually pretty new. I started it about a month and a half ago or so.
Wow, brand new.
Yes, brand new. And so I got in, and they will admit this to you. So if they heard this, they would not disagree, but they are one of those companies that has just existed for the 25 plus years they've been in business with nothing written down. Ooh, no procedures written down.
No SOPs,
nothing,
no workflows.
Nothing, Laurel. Nothing. Luckily, my VP of my department, she came in about 2 months before me, and she was the one who recruited me.
Okay.
Because I knew her before the job. She told me in the interview, she was like, listen, there's a lot of chaos. We're trying to get into this habit of writing everything down. We're starting to use systems. We're documenting everything. So she's like, just be prepared. When you get here, there might be a couple bumps in your onboarding.
A couple speed bumps.
And there were. Yeah. And at the time I was like, oh my God, this is so unprofessional. Yeah. But then I thought about the fact that I was like, that's why we're here.
That's why you're here.
That's why we're here. Because I have my job, and my boss, she has her job. Yeah. But then we both are kind of helping streamline this, like, let's write this stuff down. And I love that. It's music to my ears. Yeah. And half the time I ask people questions, I'm like, forgive me for how rude this sounds, but like, why do we do this that way?
I love
Please explain this to me so I know why, so I can go and write it down in a manual, because I don't want anybody else to not know what's going on in the future when people get hired.
You are everything that they needed there, because I'm telling you, when it comes to, I think, work life or even real life, being able to operate and understand operations, understand patterns and flows of things can really add ease into your life, just even every day. Because people have the same issues in their daily life. You don't know where anything is. You don't know what's going on, what just happened, and there's no system or method to kind of keep everything together.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah.
Do you have operations to your personal life as well?
Okay, it's to the point where I will have a to-do list. So I'm a person who, it's like a large, giant notebook.
Okay.
Like a sketch pad.
I love that. Okay.
Sketch pad. Okay. And I use it as my everyday notebook. And in the mornings, I put to-do for that day. Yeah. And then it's by category. So I have work, school, personal, and I could have done a task, and sometimes I'll write it down just to cross it out.
Because, dude,
you know what I mean?
Music to my ears.
Oh, I love a completed task just to say it completed.
Oh, hell yeah. If I look at that task list and the thing I just did wasn't on there, I'm writing it, crossing it. Dude.
Literally. Bought candles from Bath and Body.
Yeah. Spend money I didn't need to spend. Check.
Chick-fil-A 8-piece.
Yep.
Anything and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Put it on the list.
Because you're a completionist.
Yes.
And I am the same way. Yeah. And it's... Yeah, I mean, do you live by your phone calendar like I do? Oh, if I show you my phone calendar, you might have a heart attack.
So what calendar do you use? Because I'm actually at the point where my life is becoming work is one thing and school is separate. And in my mind, I could manage everything. But now with business, I need to consolidate. So
Okay.
do you use Google or Microsoft?
Neither.
Okay.
I use the Apple Calendar.
Oh.
And what you can do is I have, like, for my business stuff, I do, like, it's a Microsoft calendar, but I don't
Okay.
ever touch it.
Is it integrated?
I sync it with the Apple. And so when I put events on the Apple calendar, I just designate that it gets sent to that Microsoft calendar.
Okay.
And then it syncs. Same thing with Google.
I love that. Maybe that's what my method right now, I have everything consolidated on my work calendar because I need to ensure that everything I'm doing works around those meetings.
For sure.
So that's where I'm at right now. But eventually I do need to.
You should sync them. I mean,
I should, because right now it's color.
Everything is color coded.
What is, can I ask what is pink?
Pink is podcasts. Wait, no, sorry.
It's pink. That's booked.
No. Yeah, no, that's not true.
That's not okay.
Pink is everything that I have going on.
Okay. I totally
podcast
understand what
or
you
not.
mean. Okay. Personal. I call that personal category.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Correct. Personal. Yellow is, God, what's yellow?
Ooh, colors.
Yellow is so yellow is the business calendar.
Love that. Okay. So you have a separation, personal, business, and then work.
And then there's, of course, the holidays that Apple builds in. For some reason, Facebook syncs all of my friends' birthdays to my calendar, which helps.
It does help.
Because otherwise I would be a bad friend.
Yeah, no, I don't remember. It's weird. I think I have selective memory. It's weird when it comes to having a sit-down conversation with someone, depending on the situation. If it's casual, don't ask me to tell you what we just said 5 minutes ago.
Oh, for sure.
If it's professional, I got it. If it's a session, I can do that. And then when it's work-wise, I'm on that too, but I don't know.
You know what will kill you even more is, so Apple just updated it so that if you want your reminders to be on the calendar also.
Oh, it'll sync there too.
It will sync there too. And it gets to be so much, I turned them off.
Oh, so you use your reminders a lot then?
Oh, God, every day. I mean, every day, girl.
I love the tech though.
Dude, I live by this shit.
See, that's what I need to get to, because my issue too is I love a pen and paper.
I get that.
Oh,
I do.
I love a pen and pad.
I get it.
And I love getting to the end of the notebook and I see that I used every page.
You just flip it close.
Flip it, and then I have old calendars.
Oh, you have to.
And I keep them. Like my daily planner from my master's program, I would write out every single assignment due, color coordinated by class, and I still have it. Just sometimes I'll open it and just be like, look at this.
My parents used to tell me in high school, they're like, if you spent half as much time studying that you did preparing to study, they'd be like, bro, you'd be Einstein. You'd be Elon Musk inventing cars and shit.
I know. I get it.
So, I mean, if at this point, if tomorrow the world announced that cell phone calendars are going away, I'd be like, oh, dude, I have to.
The transcription process, I'd probably be like, dang, and then happily go to Marshall's and get a new calendar. Like, oh, dang it.
I just like it because one of our friends will criticize us and he'll be like, why do you have that? And I'll be like, yeah. If you and I are out and about and you say, hey, let's go do this on this day, I want to be able to tell you in that instant if I can do it or not.
See, I love that. And that's why I integrated everything, because now that brings up another topic of, this is a tangent, but adult friendship planning.
Yes.
Can we talk about it? Because it's giving, what is your February, March looking
right?
Like? And you have to have a calendar to reference, because
dude,
there's nothing. It's crazy. I honestly feel like that flip happens. It had to be once I turned 27.
Okay.
It became the point where all of my friends were, I'm not available for the next 4 weeks. So are you free for lunch at 2 on a random Tuesday?
I'm so happy to hear you say that. So I know that I'm not a psychopath.
No.
Especially with the podcast stuff too. And I'm trying to do more and more stuff in the local community and network. And I'm trying to do all these things. Yeah. I'm way too busy. I say yes to everything.
Ooh, okay.
I'm one of those people.
We're going to talk
yes
about
to everything.
That. Remember that we should talk about November, but put the NO in all caps.
Oh, I like that.
Yes.
I like where that's going.
Yes.
But I I say yes to everything.
Okay.
And a few weeks ago, I went to one of my friends' birthdays at like a brewery.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, not him, but one of our other buddies, he said, Logan, thanks for taking time away from your life to be here. And I was like, ooh, he meant it as a joke. And I heard the joking tone, but it still hurts.
There was the teens of, it was a
little bit of salt.
Salt, yeah.
Yes.
It's a pinch. I call it a teens when someone gets a little,
a
it's
teens.
that teens, yeah.
And it made me want to be like, fuck you, dude.
Yes.
I'm trying to get this shit going.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, he's right. He's right.
It's like, okay, this is the thing about that. There is truth to it, and a person can be right, and at the same time, it can also be true that what you're doing is just as important. And it can also be true that that friend needs to say, hey, what Logan's doing is important to him, and it's okay that I saw him for the first time in however long.
Right.
Because that is okay.
And it got to the point where, so the podcast, I've done it for several years.
Yeah.
But this year is the year that it's kind of like gotten to the point where it's starting to take off a little bit.
Yeah.
And I went through a phase earlier this year where I was just doing podcasts like every day. Like I was getting so excited about it. I was just like boom, 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 boom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I had to start releasing shit twice a week because
Tuesdays.
I was so backed up.
Okay.
But it got to the point where I was like saying no to friends and family stuff because I was prioritizing this.
Okay.
And even still, like sometimes my family will like text, because my parents live local, and they'll say like, hey, what are you guys doing this random Sunday afternoon? I'll be like, I got a podcast. Sorry, Mom.
Yep.
And she'll say, can't you just move it? And the answer is yes, I could just move it. But it depends on who the guest is.
Right.
I don't want to say I have favorites, but there are some episodes that I'm like chomping at the bit.
Like I'm not rebooking.
Like I wasn't rebooking this one tonight.
Woo-hoo.
Like I was like, I'm so hype. I don't know why I was as hype as I was.
Yeah.
Maybe because Candace, shouts to Candace, hyped you up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, dude. And like I do very light social media stalking of my guests before I see them. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
But not too much because I don't want to learn too much. Because I want you to tell me the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's just gotten to the point where I need to start. Like people have been like, oh, let's do it this Sunday or that Saturday. And I'm like, okay, let's not say yes to that so that we can prioritize some friend stuff. Cause I don't want to be like, I don't want to be that guy that he says like, oh, Logan, you took time away from being a busy guy to be here. I don't want to be that friend because that makes me sad because I have crazy FOMO.
Oh, you have FOMO too.
Oh God, the worst.
You know, FOMO is like, I put it in the same category as the ick. It's like that thing that everyone experiences at one point or another. It's like disgustingly uncomfortable, but at the same time, you know, it's like, oh, I need to, but it's something you need to manage immediately too.
Oh, for sure.
Or else it'll snowball into something else.
Yeah, it's horrible. I hate FOMO. It's the worst.
I mean, so with your FOMO, would you say, is it the commentary from friends that gets you the most, or is it your genuine sadness about not experiencing that with your friends? Because both have two different solutions.
That's a really good question. I would say a little combination of the two.
Okay.
Like for instance, I never want to be the first person that leaves a party. Because what if I leave a party and then like a monkey flies in through the window and I'm not there to be there, and then people are telling the story and they're like, man, you should have been there. The whole time I'm sitting there like fucking fuming.
Dang, I wasn't there to see it.
I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I missed it. Or they're like, oh my God, we were at this party and freaking Gucci Mane walked in the door and was like, what's up? And I was like, I didn't get to meet Gucci.
Dang. Okay, so it sounds like more of the fear of missing out on an experience with your said group.
Yeah, like if I hear that a couple of my buddies, like in all of our group chats, like if some of my friends are like, hey, let's golf. And I'm like, I can't. I don't really have FOMO for golf.
Oh,
but maybe it depends on the experience.
That's what I was going to say.
Because I just golf to be there with my friends. I'm not a good golfer at all. I just show up and drink and get hammered on the golf course, as you do.
Okay. As one does.
As one does. I'm the comic relief at the golf course. Those guys are there to have fun and to play, like for real. But I'm like cracking jokes and like dropping movie quotes and shit.
Okay, so no FOMO in those situations.
Yeah, nah. Because also with golf, it's so expensive.
Oh yeah,
so expensive.
and it's long.
And it is. It takes like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, it's not a quick
I ain't got that kind of time.
It's not a quick activity.
And that's the thing too, is my friends stopped inviting me to golf on certain days because they know I record podcasts on certain days.
Okay.
And every once in a while when like someone cancels or something, I'm like, damn, thanks for the invite. And they're like, well, we know not to invite you on Sundays because Sundays are your days to record.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck.
True.
Touche.
Touche.
Dug that hole myself.
Dug
that hole myself. Tell me about November.
So November. Okay. So the reason I brought that up is because this actually relates back to the lovely Candace, but Candace and I actually met at a women in business networking event at the Buckhead Club. It's kind of similar to the concept here. It's a co-working space, elevated co-working space, very nice. It's a great place to do work and all that. But I did a workshop called The Neuroscience Behind No. And the headline for it was November. So the whole point was really diving into this discussion about saying no and how I think a lot of the times it's easy for professionals to say, yeah, say no to things, make sure you set boundaries, all that. But what I don't think we talk about is exactly what you're referring to is the guilt and shame that comes with that. And that is the part about saying no that I think is important to highlight and talk about, because that's the issue. It's not that people would love to say no and get 5 hours of their time back. It's the fact that they have to face a person on the other side of that no. And that's the real trick, which we've talked about like twice now with some of your stories. So that's why I brought it up.
That's a really good point. I mean, even something as simple as like, on some weeknights, the boys will say, hey, we're going to play video games. Who wants to play?
Yeah.
And if I hit them with like, man, I'm just tired. I'm going to go to bed tonight. And they'll say, pussy. Yeah. And I'll just be like, oh.
Yeah.
It makes you feel some type of way, even though it's a joke and it's just the guys poking fun at you. But it's got that teens of
truth.
Of like, come on, you bitch. Like, get on and play a couple games with us.
It has that teens of truth. But the real work comes in your personal ability to hear that teens of spice or truth and say, you know what? I actually don't care. Thank you. I don't care. Because you know what I'm going to do? Get 8 hours of sleep.
Right.
So it's training your brain to get that, to hit that I don't care button super fast.
It's like almost when someone says, oh, come on. It's like I want to throw in that clip of, is it Stephen Smith? Who's just like, let me tell you something right here. We don't care. We don't care.
Thank you. Play that play in your head. If you, Stephen A. Smith, let him play in your head every time.
I love that.
Because it takes that type of conscious training in your brain to get to the point where you naturally won't care. But that takes time.
It does take time. It's almost like training yourself to walk. Maybe that's an extreme.
No, it's not.
But it's almost like any habit. You got to start somewhere.
It's a muscle. You're stretching. You're growing. It hurts. If you have not gone to the gym in a month and you hit a leg day, you're going to be sore.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be struggling. Just like if you've never had any practice in setting those type of boundaries. When you first do it, it's going to be very uncomfortable. You're going to have awkward feelings. You're going to have internal feelings you've maybe never experienced or don't know how to feel. And it's uncozy to the point where for some people, that'll be the last time they do it. Never set a boundary again because I tried that. It was weird. Didn't like it. But it's that practice. It's the ongoing practice that really counts.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me this, Laurel.
Yes.
Who is Laurel Cannon? Not related to Nick Cannon.
Yeah, not related.
Not
to
one
Nick
of his
Cannon.
1,800 kids.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. I'm not related to Father Abraham. No, jokes. But no, so I am, I'm just a girl. No,
I'm just a girl just trying to make it work.
Just trying to make it work. But I have, I guess you could say I'm multidimensional in the sense that I have my one side of me that's very chill, relaxed, wouldn't want nothing more in this world to have snacks, a hammock, good Wi-Fi, and a good show, and just me time. That's like one part of me. Another side is the type A go-getter, all about business, very detail oriented, that side. And then there's, I guess, the umbrella of just being a nice, kind, joyous person, and letting that spill out and shine first when I'm interacting with people, because I find that that's normally what makes people feel comfortable to talk to me, which is kind of where my whole career came from in the first place, in my career choice, because I got that a lot from people very, very early on. Very early on.
Wow. That's such a great answer, mainly
Yeah.
because, we've had a couple points already since we've been recording that we've like realized that we're similar.
Yeah.
But I couldn't be with you more.
Yeah.
In that the thought of just sitting on the couch with a blanket,
Yes.
maybe a drink, maybe a coffee,
Mm-hmm.
and just all in on a good show.
Yeah.
With some good Wi-Fi, of course.
Good, no breaks.
Hey.
That is probably, sidebar, my biggest pet peeve on earth has to be glitches in Wi-Fi. I pay too much money on auto pay at that.
Hey, you get that $10 discount.
Oh my gosh. That's like my biggest. So that's why I add the Wi-Fi, because I hate that. That's like my biggest thing. But yeah.
That's a funny sidebar, because it's like, do you ever hate, what pisses me off more than bad Wi-Fi is like bad, just like cellular service. It's like, are you ever in the car and you're trying to get directions to a place and your phone maps, it's just spinning.
It's
and
so
you're like,
frustrating.
I can honestly tell you, nothing goes to my anger meter faster than that. I'm like in the car screaming. I'm like, why the fuck isn't it working?
Fuming.
I'm like, we live in a society where we have technology that can drive us ourselves. We've got AI that can make shit for us, but my GPS won't load.
Yes. Why? And it's so funny because we deal with such first world problems. And that's the other thing about now. I think I can say I've been in this mindset two full years now. The top of 2023, my New Year's resolution was to have the best, happiest life ever. Emphasis on happy. I focused a lot on mindfulness, living mindfully every day. And now I'm at the point where someone asks me, every day is a good day. I say that all the time. Every day is a good day. And it's not because I don't have challenges or my Wi-Fi doesn't act up or, the person in front of me can't drive. It's just because my perspective and my ability to shift out of that is fast and efficient. So my bad memories throughout the day are very far and few between. So I can say every day is a good day. I love it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that a lot. Have you thought about at all what your 2025 resolutions are going to be? Because fun fact for you, this episode will release in 2025.
In 2025?
Early 2025, January 10th to be exact.
Okay, so let me
So happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah,
wow.
what's your 2025 kind of vision?
My 2025 vision is to take the level of fulfillment that I have and pour that into my business. This is the first time I'm a very low risk person. I'm talking max $20 at the casino. Max. So for me, starting a business is nerve-wracking. I'm scared. I want it to work. Don't know. All the natural feelings any entrepreneur would have about going out and doing their own thing in this huge world. But at the end of the day, I know this is my purpose and I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I want to just take all of this fulfillment and this joy and peace that I have inside and just pour it into that business, because that's all I want to do really for the rest of my life. So that's all 2025 plus.
Laurel, I love that you say that. Again, people are going to get sick of me saying this, but I mean, we are the same.
Really?
You ever sit with somebody and you're just like, you are just me in a different body. Mm-hmm. It's crazy how similar we think and how similar we are. I mean,
yeah, I'm glad you can resonate with what I'm saying.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, everything you've said so far, I'm like, golly, that sounds like me.
Yeah, I love that.
I mean,
do you feel that way in your life, that if someone asks you, are you a happy person? You feel like you could say yes, or you're happy, you're fulfilled in life?
That's a really good question. I would think so.
Okay.
I would think, like, if somebody asked me, like, am I happy? Mm-hmm. I think my gut response would be like, absolutely.
I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
I would think so.
Okay.
I mean, of course, we all have those days.
For sure.
And so, hey, sometimes we have those weeks, those months,
seasons.
Exactly. I mean, there are some freaking footnotes on everyday life, but at the same time, like if you take those footnotes and then you zoom out and you look at the bigger picture of my life, I'd say for the most part, there's mostly green.
Oh yeah.
Right?
There's growth, there's progression. Excuse me, good days. But there's growth, there's progression, but something you said, I think, is the key, is the ability to zoom out of your life and out of your situation and your current circumstance and get a higher level view. And I think that's where mindfulness can come in for sure, because you're giving yourself the chance to not focus so much on whatever the negative that's going on in the moment. You're focusing on things like, I'm healthy, I'm breathing, I woke up, that my family is healthy, my partner is okay, and whatever else you have going on, whatever order they got wrong at Chick-fil-A, whatever traffic you got into on 85 North.
The Wi-Fi sucks.
The Wi-Fi, it'll be okay. You know, that's what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy for me to sit there and say that, but I'm telling you, the anger will flood.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that little Inside Out, the Disney movie, that little angry man.
Yes.
I mean, dude, that is me some days. Some days I'm just pissed.
You're just pissed.
But that's okay. I mean, you have to have those days. It's almost like when people say, like, when their significant other, we don't fight. It's like, you don't at all?
Yeah,
it's like, that's not healthy, bro. That just means you guys are penting up energy.
Yeah.
And at some point, it's going to come out and it's going to be ugly.
Right.
So to disagree here and there with your friends, your family, your spouses, your partners, whatever, that's okay.
It is okay. And that should be normalized as well. It's not natural in any scenario for two people to come together and expect zero conflict or friction of any kind. And that's platonic or not. We're all different. We're going to have difference in opinions, different in thoughts, feelings, all those things. We're not all going to be aligned all the time. So that's a healthy outlook to have.
Right. It's like, all of the similarities that I'm finding that you and I have, I guarantee there's dozens of things that you and I disagree fundamentally on.
Yeah.
And I've talked a lot about that a lot lately with people, and just like, that's okay.
Yeah, it is.
Sure, I might love this thing, or you might love that thing, or support this or support that. But like, we're having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we're having a good conversation. Right. Why does any of that other shit that we disagree on matter?
Right. And that's, I think, what people can sometimes harp on. And that's the lack of mindful living that I'm talking about. Because some people will focus and hone in on that discord and hold it.
Yeah.
They will, like, with a grip.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just can't.
And it'll, out of all of the amazing things about you, every time they see you, they'll think about that one thing.
It's so weird.
They'll think, oh, Laurel, she sucks about this.
I hate how she does that.
I hate that she hates Wi-Fi when it's bad. I love Wi-Fi when it's bad.
But you know what's funny about that? I always, tell people, if there are others thinking about you in that way, the gag about it all is you're the one at home having fun with your friends, living your life. Like, you're not wasting an ounce of time or energy on that nonsense.
Nope.
Yeah.
I agree. I love all the positivity talk. It's good.
Yes.
It's good. People need to hear, especially going into a new year.
Oh, yeah.
New year, new me.
Gosh, it's going to be everyone's post.
God, I hate it. And you know what I hate even more?
What?
Is the people like me that I just did, is the people that are like, quit with all the new year, new me bullshit. We all know y'all are going to the gym for 2 weeks and then you're going to quit.
It's so funny. They talk about how gym membership spikes like the first few weeks of January, but I'm not a big advocate for cold turkey change. I'm not. There's some situations where it's required and needed, of course, but I'm more of a stepwise person. If you have a friend who's like, I'm doing a water diet, it's like, okay, girl, like are there steps we can take first? Right. Because, to be successful, I think that stepwise approach goes a longer way. If you have bite-sized goals that you're able to complete, that's a lot more rewarding. Just like our to-do list, just like how we'll write something down. The only reason we do that is because it's rewarding to cross it out. We're not doing it
100%.
because actually it's probably wasting more time actually writing it. But any type of reward or gratification can go a long way. And I think that's true for New Year's resolutions. So
yeah, 100%.
That'd be my advice.
100%. It's like, I've always battled with this. I don't want to say addiction, but I've my entire life just loved like soda and just Dr. Pepper, root beer, orange soda, really any soda. Fanta.
Did you like Sunkist?
I don't discriminate.
Wow. Sunkist is that old school soda. I'm like, yeah, if you know, some people liked it, some people hated it.
You know what's funny is like thinking about it, I don't know if I can picture.
Or not Sunkist.
Was it?
Sunkist is the orange Pepsi version. I'm talking about, it was like a citrus drink. Sundrip.
Is it Sundrip?
It was, do you know what I'm talking about? It was this kind of.
Was it orange?
It was either yellow or green. And the juice itself almost looked like lemon juice. It had like a cloudy kind of lemony look to it.
The only thing I can think of is like Mountain Dew or like Mellow Yellow or like 7-Up.
Let me see if I can. It was an old school. Let me see if I just Google old school citrus soda. And I just keep thinking about it because I would always on road trips as a kid pick it up.
Is it like, no, it's not like.
Not Fresca. Sundrop.
That's it. Yeah, Sundrop.
Yeah, not Sunkist.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right here.
Right here, yeah.
Yep, that's it. Sundrop. I don't know if I've ever had Sundrop.
Tart.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't even do that.
You can't do that? You got to get your.
Damn, can't do it.
I don't know. I don't know how to teach that. Or a Tahitian treat. Ooh.
I don't even know what that is.
You never had Tahitian treat? You never had Tahitian treat? Oh my gosh.
Tahitian treat?
This is the classic fruit punch. Oh,
that is tart.
I'm talking about red dye number 75.
That is like you take a drink and your teeth are red.
Oh, red.
Yeah.
Stained. That's what you do, people who didn't brush their teeth. Because
for sure.
Treat.
For sure.
Oh, I lied. It wasn't Sundrop. It was Squirt. That sounds.
Which they needed to rebrand. They needed to rebrand. That's not a great.
That? And they made Squirt soda. That's what it was.
I just hate that name.
So do I.
It's not great.
They changed it. Maybe they changed it to.
I think they did. Maybe. But yeah, Tahitian treat. I mean, either way, I haven't had. Well, maybe I have had Squirt.
They have Tahitian treat. You can still get.
Oh yeah.
At the grocery store.
I remember the first time I bought it, and I was like, "That's the last time." I will rather buy the jug of Hawaiian Punch than that bottle of Tahitian treat.
I can't do that anymore because it's literally feels like drinking diabetes. The old school Hawaii. Because the way we all did with ice.
Damn.
And still do, right?
I ice it down. It's not as bad.
I ice it down to dilute the syrup. Yeah.
I love that I'm going to be able to put fruit punch in the episode description as what stuff we talk about.
We talked about Tahitian treat, yeah.
But I mean, hey, quit it. And that's my thing is soda.
Okay, yes.
As I drank it forever. See, this is the podcast tangent. Yeah, this is what happens. Yeah. We talk about shit and then it just... And then next thing you know, we're like, how did we get here?
He said it's so addiction. Have you heard of Squirt? Have you heard of Tahitian treat punch?
Tahitian. I love that you knew that off the rip, like the name.
Oh, Tahitian treat was like my dad's go-to.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He grew up in Jacksonville, Florida. That was it. Yeah. And Welch's grape soda.
Oh, hey.
Cold.
Chef's Kiss.
And Canada Dry. Those are the three we had.
I could never do Canada Dry. I could never do ginger ale. None of that.
No.
I know. I'm a psychopath.
When you were sick?
Sprite or Gatorade.
The Sprite is too easy for being sick.
It is. You're playing with fire.
Oh, you attacked that. You went right into that stomach. Oh my gosh.
Hey, I'm a problem solver. Sometimes you got to take an L to take a dub.
Ooh, okay. Sprite.
Yeah.
Got it.
Sprite or Gatorade. Lots of Gatorade.
So no ginger ale and Biscoff.
No, I don't. No, none. Zero.
You might. Yeah. No.
Maybe that's why I sucked to today.
Maybe.
Why I'm a bad person.
No, you're not.
Thank you. Thanks for the validation.
It's just, yeah, of course. Maybe I'll try Sprite and Biscoff next on my next Sprite.
I mean,
I don't think it would hit the same.
Probably not.
Something about that ginger ale.
I don't know what it is. Ginger ale to me just tastes like dull Sprite.
So you just like the flavor of Sprite so much.
Oh God,
that's never gonna change because I get you.
Oh, I love
like
Sprite.
McDonald's Sprite.
Oh God, girl.
Ice. Ooh, that will make you eyes water hiccup immediately.
Damn, dude, that'll make you think about That don't make you think about the good times and the bad. You know what I'm saying?
So many memories with us.
Dude, a McDonald's Sprite will make you want to just fucking climb out the car and run a marathon.
And don't let them have the $1 deal. Don't let them have $1 any size.
Dude.
Yeah.
There's no wonder that that America is so fat because McDonald's has, you're getting a medium? Well, you can upsize it to a large for 10 cents.
You can get 5% more likely of having a heart problem if you upgrade.
Oh, you want the large fries? Well, how about the mega large fries for a high five?
With salt, yeah.
Do you want an extra pound of salt with that?
Oh, God.
I say it, but you know what?
Tragic.
I can't sit here and diss on McDonald's because I love McDonald's.
Really?
I do. I love it with my heart and soul.
I can only do now beverages only. Rarely I can maybe do a fry.
You can do some fries.
I could do some
Has
fries.
your mom ever made anything as good as a McDonald's fry? Doubt it.
No.
Doubt it.
No, because a fresh salted fry with that Sprite.
And it's hot.
Yeah. I know what
Fire.
you mean. Oh, pro tip, if you are ever wanting fresh, hot fries anywhere, just request no salt. They will have to put it in a brand new batch. Don't ask how I know that. But
you've definitely tried it.
Anyways. You can't
moving
get a
on.
fresh pack of a fresh batch of fries if you do.
So my addiction to soda.
The tangents tonight are crazy. I'm gonna focus. I'm sorry. Okay.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm like a squirrel.
Yeah.
I'm like that dog from Up. I'm like, let's talk about that. I always, whenever I try to get rid of soda, I just cut it cold turkey, and it works for a couple weeks. But then I have like a weak moment at a movie theater, and I'm like, I'll take a large.
Don't do
Coke.
that. See, okay, so the thing about situations like that, the goal isn't to cut soda out of your life.
I just need to
regulate
it like crazy.
A healthier relationship with it.
So now I don't buy soda for home.
See, boom, that's a great method. Don't buy it for home, but then...
You know what we get instead, though, is we get Poppy. Have you had Poppy?
I can't do Poppy because Poppy tastes like weird soda.
It's like carbonated water soda.
I hate... When I tell you... Okay, the one thing I might hate more than the Wi-Fi is seltzers.
No.
It's like static water.
Okay.
I can't do it. Like the most I could do is a San Pellegrino, the new version that's sugar-free. And not the one that doesn't have color on the bottle. Not the one you can get from Costco. The one that's like the true San Pellegrino. That's as far as I can go. And that's juice with Splenda. So the moral of the story is I can't do something. That's really what I'm trying
What
to
about
say.
like if you guys are, I mean, do you drink?
Not really.
Dang.
So this is great for me. If I'm going out, I'll probably order one cocktail.
Okay.
And it could, like one sangria could last me a whole dinner.
Sure.
I'm like the sipper.
You're like nursing that thing.
Nursing the thing. I can love a glass of wine.
Yeah.
And then sporadically, I'll have moments where I'm like, shots. And like my friends know if I'm in that mood, don't just go with it because it's rare.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
On and off.
So if she's like, let's do some shots, it's like, let's take advantage of this because it doesn't happen every weekend.
My friends know. I've had my good friend, Winnie, she'll tell other people, like, if I'm like shots and someone else is like, no, Winnie will be like, no, we're doing it because this isn't going to come around again for a couple weeks, maybe months.
My friends pretty similarly know that I'm game to do shots, but I rarely am like, I'll buy the round of shots because they're like, oh, that'll be $85. And you're like, oh, I just wanted 3. And they're like, yeah, $85. Right. And you're like, oh God.
It's sick.
But every once in a while, you got to take one for the team and buy a round of shots.
You do. You do.
And same thing. They're like, oh, I don't want to do a shot. They're like, Logan's buying, so you got to do it. They're like, hey, even if you don't want yours, I'll take it.
That is a factor. Are you buying them or not? That can change your openness to a shot.
Oh, and I remember something another thing I had in common with you is earlier when you were talking about low risk. I'm the same way.
Oh, yeah.
Like maybe I'm a tightwad money wise. I don't think I'm a tightwad, but I think the people in my life would disagree. Okay. Especially like my parents. Like if I ever like whip my wallet out, my mom would be like, her bats are about to fly out of his pocket because it hasn't been opened in so long.
Oh my gosh.
But like, especially with the business, like I'm like, oh, I really need that. Yeah. No, I don't. It's over $20.
See, I'm super selective with stuff like that. When it comes to self-care, I will happily take out that card. I'm not kidding.
But for the business, you're like, no.
For the business, well, lately I've been really open to just doing any and everything because I'm very particular about how I want the launch to go.
Sure.
Well, when this comes out, it'll be January, but on the day recording, what day is it? 26th?
26th.
It's the 26th
We're
of
a few
November.
days away.
A few days away, yeah. So we're launching December 1st, and I'm just pouring everything into there that I need to pour into for it to be perfect. But yeah, when it comes to self-care, I'm spending the money.
So screw the soda talk.
Yeah.
In a few days, we're launching.
Yes.
Shanti Living.
Shanti Living is launching, yeah.
So tell me and the people, what is Shanti Living?
Yes, that's an amazing question. So Shanti Living is my mental health and wellness private practice. There's two arms of services, really. The first is the traditional one-to-one sessions. So there, I'm entering the market as a life strategist, and quick plug for where I got that from, because some people are like, where did you get that from? In the late 90s, early 2000s, this is back when Dr. Phil didn't have his own show. This is when he was only on Oprah as a guest.
Oh my.
Yeah. And so
I forgot that was a thing.
It was a thing. Yeah. There was a time where he was just a guest. And back then, his title that would pop up on the screen was life strategist. And for me, that sat with me and resonated with me for a long time because I would come home from school and watch Dr. Phil, like, I think starting middle school, I was doing that regularly. So, that's where the inspo really came from. But back to what the sessions are all about. So life strategy, I label that as a pairing between using my counseling, therapeutic, academic background with life coaching. So I'm also a certified life coach. And the pairing of those two, I think, creates a really nice holistic, tailored level of care because everyone's different. You're going to have a client who comes in needing maybe 60% therapeutic work, 40% coaching. Or you maybe have one that's 20% therapeutic work, 80% coaching. I think there's a misconception that every single person walking into a room looking for a professional needs deep dive into childhood trauma. There are plenty of people who maybe have worked through some of those things to an extent and are more so looking for someone to help them get from point A to point B in their life. And they're just having trouble making that connection. And that's what I'm there to help them do. On the other hand, the corporate workshops is the other side of the business. So that's like the November workshop I was telling you about, where I might be sitting with a group of ladies and doing some health education, or maybe it's a corporate workspace where they're having issues with engagement and retention. And this is a way that they want to pull everyone together and bring everyone in. So that's what Shanti Living's all about.
Love that. So does that mean, so for December 1st, the day you're launching, are you launching in like a physical spot?
No, so I'm all telehealth.
Telehealth.
Yes,
Let's go.
We're doing all telehealth. So I'm using the Simple Practice platform. And Simple Practice is similar to like Psychology Today is another platform where professionals can go. But I really like Simple Practice because it's a HIPAA compliant platform. So when it comes to the teleconference links, everything is secure. Even if you were to send me a document in the portal, that would be safe and secure. And that was very important to me. That is already up and running. I had my first client start about a month ago, which is really exciting. So I just want to keep that going.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you. It's weird because graduation is in May, and I didn't think that I would start this process until afterwards, but I finished the life coaching certification and decided that that was the business type that I wanted to fall under, just really to have flexibility. There's nothing wrong with being a licensed therapist, counselor, but there is a lot of restriction when it comes to working across state lines, what you can do, what you can't do. And the way that I wanted to run my business, with it being so kind of tailored and having its quirks and things, it was easier for me to do it this way. Because like a good example is I send a welcome gift to clients. There's certain rules and regulations to doing something like that in certain states and forums that might make that problematic. But am I going to send a journal to a client that I'm asking to write things down? Yeah, I'm going to do it. So it's little tailored things like that that pushed me in that direction.
That's really cool. And I think that's also really unique. I don't think that happens a lot. Was that always something, that welcome gift thing?
Yeah.
Where did that come along in the process of figuring out, like, this is how I'm going to do things. This is what I'm going to do when I'm going to do them.
Yeah.
At what point were you like, I should almost similarly to, not to put myself on a platform, but like providing a gift to the guests when they come and go.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not very common at all.
Let me flip it to you. So what is the reason why you give a welcome gift?
I want people to not think of your morning drive as just another interview.
Okay.
I want it to be an experience.
Yes.
Something they think back on, a relationship, not just an interview that's one and done. See you later.
Yep.
Like, I now am rooting for you to succeed in every way. And I want that connection there.
Yes.
And I don't know. It's also cool.
Yeah.
It's also, everyone loves tea, coffee, something.
So that was well said. And my answer is pretty much the same, because you mentioned relationship, experience, and you also mentioned connection.
Yes.
And those are all the reasons why I wanted to do it as well. For me, it was a good way to say, hey, not only do I recognize that you're being an advocate for yourself by coming to me, I want to make this experience easier for you. And I also think there's power in the giving of a gift. You never know what someone's going through. They may have you just never know. And so the act of receiving something in the mail, because I send it directly to wherever they want me to send it, receiving something in the mail that's specifically for you, that was a thoughtful gift. I always write a little, note, a card, and it's just meant to set the tone that this is not meant to be a traditional professional client relationship. I'm really interested in helping you wherever you're at and creating that relationship and connection.
I agree 100%. I mean, that's also so underneath the mug, there's a thing.
Yes.
Go ahead and grab it.
Okay.
Since we're talking about it, let's go ahead and grab it. Yeah.
Yes.
So.
See? Yes. Oops, I'm sorry. Yes. So I love this. I love it. Quick story time. For my 28th birthday this year, I did a dinner and I wrote all of my friends, is about 13 of them, a personalized letter, and they were in each of their placemats, and that's how they knew where they were going to sit. And there's something about a note with someone's genuine words that they took the time to write that means a lot.
Yeah. And it's nothing crazy. I won't lie to you. Every guest gets the same letter on the inside, but it's still like, someone was like, a few weeks ago, I gave it to someone and she said, that's really cool. Not only the mug, but the fact that like you took time, you designed the thing that's in there, you purchased it with money. I mean,
thoughtfulness.
It's thoughtful. And I was like, I just, like I said, I want this to be an experience that you want to recommend to your other entrepreneur friends, which is what Candace did here.
And here we are.
Yeah. So it's like, I just want all my homies to win.
I love that. Yeah.
And so similarly, I'm sure like, it's like, yo, when I'm sending you this gift, I'm not trying to come off any certain type of way. It's not a bribe. It's nothing like that. I am just simply saying, if I'm going to ask you, I love that you said that, that if I'm going to ask you to take notes, I'll give you something to take notes in.
The tools.
I love that.
It's big. I'm big on that. That's my purpose, is to really give others the tools to be successful, because the truth of the matter is they're not going to have me in their pocket 24 hours a day. But what they will have in their pocket 24 hours a day is knowledge, wisdom, and tools.
Correct.
And they can use that anytime.
Correct. It's like, instead of seeing on your Instagram stories my name and thinking, oh, that was a podcast interview I did, but instead thinking like, oh, that was a really cool experience I had with that person. A very genuine connection.
Yeah. And we need to bring that back. I think so many people are craving that again. Connection. I talk about it with my friends all the time, but when I think about just the status of relationships right now, more specifically in dating, but there's just a lack of interpersonal skills and interpersonal connection that people are comfortable with having. I think there's a discomfort or nervousness that almost comes with talking nowadays. Some people feel scared of being judged, or like, oh my gosh, she or he's going to think I'm weird or whatever. And that literally stops conversations from happening in the first place. So I genuinely feel like majority of us are craving that level of talking again.
I don't want to get too personal, but are you dating right now?
No, I'm not dating.
Does that mean something?
No, it just means
you're just not actively dating.
I'm not actively dating right now. I am in a place where I word it like this. I am fulfilled, overflowing with contentment and happiness.
I love that.
So first and foremost, I'm not seeking anything. If someone were to come along at the right time and it were to flow and make sense and it were to be a match, lovely. I'm not opposed to it.
But you are not actively where's my man?
No, I'm not.
Or woman, whatever
No, I'm not actively dating or seeking.
Right.
I think too, where I'm putting my time and energy right now is into my business.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say that the time and energy I'd want to put into a relationship, I can't give right now.
Yeah.
So it feels a bit unfair for me to enter the dating pool saying, hi, I'm a serious candidate for a long-term relationship, because I'm not. That's not true. And I think that should also be normalized as well, because I think there's almost shame involved with saying that, and I
was just going to say, I respect it tremendously, because I do think that there's a ton of people out there that similarly to you have no business dating because they're so occupied and content, but yet they're still out there seeking, it must be attention. It could be an attention thing, but also like some people, we're humans, we have certain needs and tendencies and stuff, but at the same time, I do think I agree with you. We should normalize saying like, no, I'm good. I'm not dating right now, but it has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that I'm good.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with anything other than you seem great. And maybe there would be a time and place where I would love to pour into this, but I don't have the capacity right now. And so it'd be unfair for me to tell you that I'm ready for what you're looking for if I'm not.
If I wasn't married, I don't know what I would do right now. Just in terms of like, as busy as I am, I'm lucky that I get to just go home and that person's there. But if we lived in a weird world where when you were married and you didn't live with the person you were married to, I don't know if I'd ever see him.
That would be difficult.
Unless it was extremely early in the morning or extremely late at night.
And that's such a reality for so many people. And there's people in all different levels and stages of this, but I think ultimately I refer to it as step 0. And when we're having conversations about dating, step 0 is the step you should take for self-evaluation before we're even starting at step 1 of what's the guy for me. Step 1 is comprised of 2 parts, 2 questions. Who am I? So do you know yourself? Do you know yourself? Do you know what you like? Do you know what you not like? Do you know your strengths and weaknesses? Do you know your growth points? Do you know yourself? And the second part of step 0 is, do you know what you want? If you have clarity on those 2 questions, you are going to be in a much better position regardless of those answers in the dating pool, because you could be someone like me. I do know myself and I do know what I want. And because I'm aware of those things, I can enter the dating pool and say, hey, I'm not a candidate for a serious committed relationship right now because my wants and needs are with my business. And I want to pour my energy and time into that. For the person who does understand what they want and who they are, and they are ready for that relationship, that's a great candidate to go into the dating pool and say, you know what, I'm ready for this and I want it. And that person is actually going to be able to field the bullshit and be able to know what's for them and what's not, because they know themselves and they know what they want. Right. So I always say start with step 0.
And I think it's really mature too of you, because I don't know if I were in your shoes, if I'd be doing the same thing, if I'm completely honest, because there are people out there that are dating, like I said, that have no business dating right now because they're so busy. And I think, you could be dating right now. Yeah. You absolutely could, but it wouldn't be fair to them.
There would be no integrity there.
It just wouldn't make sense to them. And then that's when you start to have drama and people getting hurt. And it's like, then you get those inevitable texts that are like, I'm sorry, I just don't have time for this right now. Right. Oh, well, then why are we doing this then? Why did we go out? You know? Yes. And it's like, man, it's really, really cool that you have that self-awareness of like, listen, I don't even need to. Like, do you feel any pull to at all? No. Or are you good?
I'm good.
I love that. See, that needs to be normalized.
Yeah, it does. And I think it can really make your dating experience better, because when you are in that zone and you're in a place where your life is exactly what you want it to be, not saying there's no challenges or whatnot,
Sure.
you are also able to identify someone who's in line with that. Right? You're not going to be the person who just starts liking, what's a good example? Anime. If you were a person who didn't like anime before and you meet a guy and then all of a sudden, you're doing 12 hours of research, you're a fanatic, that's only going to be a temporary last for that particular person.
Right.
But let's say you are an anime fanatic and you go to all the things and that's a part of your identity and you love it. When you meet that person who's also a fan, that is going to be an instant, genuine, organic point of connection for the two of you. And so that was just a small example, but just the power in knowing who you are can go a long way, even with your decision making of who you're entertaining.
Anime is a very niche example. Are you an anime girl?
I'm not.
That's a very interesting example.
The reason I use it as an example is because it's come up before.
Really?
I've met men who are into it, and you can tell they really want you to be into it as well. And I'm like, dang, I'll watch it sometimes. Like, I've tried it.
I don't get it.
It's not for me.
I don't get it.
It's a lot of
over exaggeration. Mm-hmm. There's a lot. I mean, I also, maybe this is my Americanness coming out, okay. But I don't love watching things in other languages. I don't want to read the subtitles, which is very hypocritical because I have subtitles on the English shows
all the time, right?
All the time.
Because, are you a person who, when you turn your head, it sounds muffled until you turn back and look at the word? You're like, oh
wow, that's real. Yeah. I've never thought about that out loud.
I'm telling you, it's a real thing.
Wow.
It's okay.
To the point where my parents came over one time and they were like, why do you have the subtitles on? Yeah. I was like, do you not have the subtitles on, you psychopaths?
I can't hear unless I'm not looking at the words. Right. I don't have that skill.
Maybe that's bad for us. I don't know. There's a science or a study out there about how subtitle use. Because before it was an intentional thing.
I mean, I do think that there's power in active listening. Mm-hmm. And if you are active listening, the subtitles should matter less. But I feel like nowadays, there's so much multitasking going on. Sometimes you need that. You need those subtitles.
You do need them subtitles.
Yeah, you do.
Sometimes you got to mute the TV because you're on the phone, but maybe you want to leave that show playing.
You want to know what's going on. Yeah, right? There's a show for everything, and sometimes subtitles just help.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Agree.
That's true.
Agree. Yeah.
So when you were growing up, was there any piece of you that was like, entrepreneur's the way for me, or has it just
no. No.
Were your parents entrepreneurs? I mean, really?
No. I come from a low-risk, structured family. So my parents are still married.
Love that.
Both grew up working corporate lifestyles, both corporate workers. And for me, that stability, I grew up in a stable environment. So I'm used to stability. I'm used to, there's no high and low months, everything, there's consistency.
It's just consistent.
And that's what I like. So for me, being in this position now, and similar to you too, we have the full-time job because you got to live, you got to have health insurance, all those lovely things. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't until later in life, and that was with confidence build, emphasis on that, because I wasn't always like that.
You're good.
I was able to get to a point where I was okay with taking those risks, and they were very calculated. I don't want to act like I just all of a sudden whipped this out of a hat. I mean, it'll be
I was going to say
my third graduate degree in May. So
you're a superstar.
Thank you.
I hope you know that.
Thank you.
But anyway.
Yeah. And so it's like, even though there's risk, and even though I'm an entrepreneur now, it didn't come just all of a sudden. This has been years of work. And for me, I think it's funny because I know, when people are kids, they ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I always had the same answer. My life is not a product of sporadic decisions. It's literally I'm just following the order of operations of my life that I planned out. And this upcoming graduation and next piece in business is kind of like the pinnacle of those plans, which has kind of come with a little bit of identity crisis for me, actually. But yeah.
So we're launching December 1st.
Yeah.
From how long has Shanti Living been in the works? Like for real, rather than just an idea to the point where you're like, we're going to make this shit happen.
Yeah. So the private practice was always going to happen.
Okay.
From the time I graduated undergrad, I graduated with a psychology degree. From the time I stopped, I knew that I wanted to be a doctor and I wanted my own private practice. At that point, I didn't know what kind of doctor I wanted to be. I was open to maybe going medical doctor, maybe PhD. I wasn't sure. It wasn't until after I graduated and got into the workforce where I was like, no shade to medical doctors, but no work-life balance.
No.
And one thing about me, I want to be a work-life balance. Like I want to be self-care. I want to be wellness. And so for me, that was the pivot to PhD and finalizing that. So from there, it was pretty much just a straight track. I knew that I did not want to spend 8 years doing a PhD program. So I worked backwards and decided that my master's level would be my potential licensing level. So I went to NYU Steinhardt for my master's in mental health and wellness counseling. So that was a academic, but also clinical program. So I worked with all men, some of which had just got out of prison, some of which just out of rehab, and they were all in a mandated treatment program. And I was the counselor at that program. So after that, I went right into my PhD program because I knew that that's what I was going to do. I think I graduated in May and started my PhD that September. And it was accelerated. So that was crazy. That's one thing I do know about is burnout.
Yeah. You must love school.
I do. And that's why I say that I've had a bit of an identity crisis. I'm over it now, but school has been such a big part of my identity and who I am for so long that even though I'm getting to this end goal, which is amazing, it's still the end. It's what I call a terminal goal, a goal that has a final step that you're aware of. And when you reach that step, sometimes it's a little bit unnerving. Okay, it's like, what's next? Like, this was such a big part of me for so long. So that kind of comes with its own wonkiness. But
do you think something else fills that void of school?
Shanti Living is filling that void now. So I'm kind of taking It's
a slow transition.
Yeah, it is.
Instead of cold turkey.
Yes, it's a stepwise.
It's a step.
Bit by bit.
You're starting Shanti Living a few months before graduation so that you have the workload. Yes. And then once one thing drops off, you've still got that thing.
Exactly. And that's how I operate. That's how I operate. I think for me, it was school was a lot because I was doing school full time, but also working full time. And when you do that and you're not at home and you're in the world, you have to have so much internal motivation and drive to get it done because no one is going to tell you to do that homework. No one else is going to tell you to turn it in. It's just been a lot of internal motivation for so long that it's only right that I just shift that into Shanti Living.
You know what's funny about the whole loving school, but also loving like checklists and stuff is as we're sitting here talking and I said, oh, you must love school. I'm sitting back and I'm like, I kind of love school too.
Oh, yeah.
But not the mundane tasks of school. Okay. But I love like my last couple of years of undergrad, I did all my classes online so I could work and go to the school at the same time.
Okay.
And I loved just like a day I was off work that I could just like sit down in front of the computer and just mark shit off that I needed to do for school. And maybe there's a piece of me that likes school because it was like I felt like I was accomplishing stuff.
Yes, I'm telling you.
Like I was marking literal things off of a to-do list.
Yes, I'm telling you, there's something about those small stepwise goals. There's something about it because it doesn't matter what the goal is. If you're achieving small bite-sized pieces, the person will always feel and is getting closer to that goal before whatever step they took. So any type of progression of any kind is going to feel fulfilling and rewarding, and that's going to push somebody to continue doing whatever it is they're doing, which is what I really want Shanti Living to be.
So with Shanti Living, I mean, obviously, I would assume that the goal for it is for it to take the form of your full-time job.
Yes.
No, I don't think anybody, or at least many people, start a business and think like, I'm just going to do this part-time for the rest of my life.
It's funny you bring that up because I love my job, my day job.
It's going to be hard to leave.
It's going to be hard. When I tell you, it's getting to the point now where I have to figure out what to say in my end of year reviews. Cause like when they ask me, what's your 5-year goal? I'm like, to stay in this role. Like I don't have further aspirations.
You don't have the drive to rise at your current job.
No. And I also think people need to do a check-in of, don't just say you blanket statement want a promotion just because you want a promotion. Sometimes there are things that may come with a promotion that don't align with what you want in life. So for me, I'm a project manager and I love being a project manager. I'm good at it. It works for me. But being a director is a lot of people management, a lot of it. And I'm already trying to do that with Shanti Living. So I have no interest in getting a promotion. So now I'm kind of playing this game and kind of telling them like, hey, I want you to know I'm happy with where I'm at. And this is not me saying I want to stay where I'm at so I can quit. This is me saying I genuinely like it here and I want to stay here for a while. So I've been struggling with that, to be honest with you. Like, when do I leave if I want to leave? But if Shanti Living grew to the point where, dang, I guess all of my needs and healthcare. Yeah. See, I would need that same level of healthcare because I got good healthcare. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I wouldn't want to let that go.
Yep.
So TBD on that. We'll see. We'll see when. But eventually, yeah, like I want to work for myself
for sure
full time. But TBD on when.
It's tough though, because I mean, like you said, there's things that a lot of people don't think about when they think about like, they think about their income and they're just like, okay, I just need to match the income I'm making and then I can quit.
No.
But then it's like, think about the benefits you have. Think about the retirement that you have. Think about the amount of your paycheck that goes away to retirement.
PTO.
That you don't know, the PTO. Because if you were doing Shanti Living full time and then you decided to take a week off, that's a week of you not earning shit.
Nothing.
Although with the telehealth thing, you might be ahead of the curve a little bit.
So that was kind of by design.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Let's talk about it because so in my personal life, my favorite thing to do is travel. I'm a traveler. I'm excited for my itinerary coming up the next few months of travel, and I needed to make sure that my long-term career would fit well into that. Why? Because for me, that's my wellness map. A part of me being well has to do with me exploring the world, and I know that. So I need to make sure that anything else I have going on or in planning aligns with that, and telehealth 100% does.
Wow. Okay. Where have you been? What cool places have you been?
Ooh.
Okay, when I was doing some light stalking. Did you go to Egypt?
Oh, yeah.
That was so cool.
It was
Your pictures
amazing.
were badass with the pyramids in the background. I was like, damn.
It was so amazing. Egypt is a place I would like to return.
I'd love to go.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing about traveling overall is learning about cultures and ways of life in other places. It changed my perspective a lot on how we operate in America, which is insane. I just want to say that.
Yeah.
America, I love it. Red, white, and blue. I'm going to be here. I love my blue passport. I love my AC. But the way that we live and what we prioritize here is completely lopsided
from the rest of the world.
From the rest of the world, nor is it conducive to a lifestyle of wellness and a lifestyle, promoting mental health. American culture is not aligned with that at all. American culture is aligned with shame for taking PTO and shame for taking time off and shame for spending time with your family. Whereas like Italy, you could be walking down a small little community at 2:00 and everything's closed. Why? Because everyone's home eating with their families. Small things like that I've just seen throughout travel, and it's just made me, I think, appreciate my personal lifestyle a bit more because I know I have a niche lifestyle in a country where that's not the wave at all.
Yeah. I mean, I was reading this thing a while ago that said that America is the only country that, is that me?
I think so, yeah.
Damn.
Text.
Oh, God. It's the work email.
Oh, God.
Not the work email.
Not the work email. See, mine is when that team sound comes on. Oh God, instant
anxiety.
Please don't right now.
It's one of those things where, so America's the only, or at least one of the only countries that prioritizes work as much as we do.
Yeah.
It's like you need to work, or you'll never succeed.
Yeah.
Never,
And
ever in your wildest dreams, never.
You will never. And the real lie about that is the key word at the end there, succeed. Because the definition of success is the real problem in our culture. Let's just say in America, the definition of success is healthy family life, healthy relationships with your friends, your family, healthy financial status, meaning you can pay your bills comfortably without worry. You can eat, you can sleep, you can do all these things that you need to do comfortably. If that was our standard, if it had more to do with fulfilling basic needs in life and the mental aspect or wellness aspect of it was at the forefront, I think things would be a lot different, because that's achievable. It's a realistic goal. It's a tangible goal. But by our standards and how things are now, like, you'll never be happy or succeed, because what does that even mean? I think if you were to ask that everyday person, they'd be like, I don't know, you need $1 million and like a Lexus. I don't know, like some bullshit.
Lexus?
I don't know why I said Lexus.
What the heck is a Lexus?
Because have you seen the new SUVs? They're gorgeous. I don't know.
Oh, a Lexus.
A Lexus.
I thought you were saying like, who's a Lexus?
No. I'm just saying like money in the car and the things, like they would label that as being success.
Right.
So it's just how we measure success.
Right. Like, I think in terms of success, not in America, I would think that you're successful right now. I'm successful right now.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm having a great time doing the things that I'm doing.
Yes.
And yeah, I am missing the $1 million, which could show up at any time. I wouldn't complain.
Sprinkle.
But success is, and we'll talk about success a little later for reasons that you do not know yet. But it's all relative to what you if you think success is being able to rock on your front porch with your dog by your side.
Yes. And how amazing would that be?
That sounds amazing right now,
honestly. How amazing would it be if we all had real non-social media influenced definitions of success? That would be amazing, because now we all have tangible goals. Now we all have tangible realities in which happiness is there, in which happiness is the foundation. And I think, unfortunately, I don't think everybody has that answer, which goes back to step 0 of knowing who you are and what you want. Because until you know those things, you're kind of aimlessly wandering. Like me, I have a set, not money amount, but kind of, I have a set goal of what I would want, the life I'd want Shanti Living to provide me. There's not some infinite amount of money. There's like a picture in my head of what that looks like.
Really?
Yeah. And so I think that helps keep me balanced, humble, to not to a point where I'm just like looking for aimless amounts of money. Because there's not aimless amounts. There's like a specific kind of reality that I would like to obtain for myself. Yeah.
Love that. Yeah. That's nice. Yeah. I've never even thought about that.
You should.
I've never thought like, what do I want? Because of course I'd love to be uber successful.
Yeah.
Monetarily.
Yes.
But at the same time,
vague.
Like,
even that's a little vague.
It's so vague.
It is.
Like, what is a comfortable life where I can afford to save, provide for future kids, provide for family, vacation, and still run the business in a healthy manner?
Yeah, but see,
I don't know what that number is.
You're already narrowing it down, though. Like, that list you just named off is what any person would need in order to kind of have a rough idea of what that looks like. Because I think it's healthy when you have an idea of that versus kind of like an aimless, never ending money. Because then there's risk for making decisions that maybe aren't good for you just for the sake of money. So,
and you see often, I mean, when people get instant access to money, shit hits the fan real quick. I mean, you
quick.
see all these lottery winners, they always
Yeah.
die like 3 weeks later because
Yeah.
they buy endless amounts of cocaine or they get robbed or
family goes crazy,
Yeah.
all kinds of things. But imagine the gift of having a healthy mind before
Right.
your monetary gain or before whatever.
If I won the lottery tomorrow, no one would know.
Oh, me either.
Not a soul.
It's so crazy. I'd be so like low about it. I thought like even when it comes to like my parents' house, it could be paid off. Don't know. But let's say it's not. I would do an anonymous, just send, like find out whatever mortgage company my dad works with and just be like, can you guys credit this account? But don't tell them it's me.
Yeah.
Like I would
just say, hey, your mortgage is paid off by an anonymous donor.
There was a special and you are.
Hey, we ran a program and some stranger dropped 120 grand.
It's called Shanti Living and you now have no mortgage.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I think your close friends would start to see little hints that you all of a sudden have millions of dollars.
God,
they'd be like, damn, Logan gets the new iPhone every year.
Yeah. No.
Or like, damn, Logan just bought a new car out of the blue. And
What's
again,
that
the car,
about?
like my dad and brother are huge car freaks. But if I was a millionaire, I'm not driving no like Lamborghini. Honestly, I love the fact that you drive that Tesla.
Really?
God, I saw I think when I followed you, I saw
the
like
Tesla,
and I was like, oh my God.
My friends told me that was iconic because I got my Tesla. I knew I wanted to get one for a long time. I had like an old truck that I was waiting just to die. I was waiting for it to die so I could get the Tesla, but I wasn't going to just, throw away a car that drove just for that. So one winter day, it didn't start. And I was like, yes, finally, it's time. So,
instead of like freaking out, you were like, today's the day.
Today's the day. Why? Planning. Because I planned. I was ready for that. So in February, no, it was like end of January, I got the Tesla and I decided to do a whole photo shoot. And so I took pictures and did my whole thing. And it was my Valentine's Day gift to myself.
Love that.
And I posted it on Valentine's. I think I said, Happy Valentine's Day, babe. And it was like to me.
Hell yeah.
And my friends are like, oh my God. So yeah, I love it.
So now we got to ask you, because every time you meet a stranger and you talk to when I say you, I mean a gas vehicle driving person.
Yeah. Yes.
Give me the pros. No, I don't want the pros because I know the pros.
Okay.
What are the cons?
The cons so if you're a person like me, I tend to stay in like a 10-mile radius of my house. Okay. I'm here today.
You live in Buckhead?
I live in Buckhead.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I'm here today, but generally speaking, I don't go far from my house. So those, I think it's 250 miles. I think I get goes a long way. Oh, that's not a con. Damn. Okay. Let me think of something bad.
Or maybe not a con necessarily, but something that you had not envisioned going in where you were like, oh,
okay. Got it. Biggest con is charging on a non-Tesla supercharger. I don't know who invented the regular, I call them slow drip chargers because it's a slow drip.
Are they like the chargers that are like out front of like a Best Buy?
Yes.
Or like a movie theater?
They're the chargers where you have to get some random app to add your money, and it has, it's adaptable to every type of EV. Those can take, I think the one in my apartment complex, it's like 8 hours. If you're on a low charge, you have to let it sit overnight. In contrast, if you're going to a supercharger and you live in an area like Atlanta where you have access to a bunch, it's fine because it takes 45 minutes for a full charge and it's only $20.
Right.
So it just depends. But like slow charging sucks because 8 hours is a long time.
Would you, because I have a buddy that lives in San Diego. He did the whole San Diego thing. He moved to San Diego, sold his truck, bought a Tesla.
Okay.
And now I think he drives like the Tesla that drives it himself. He's like, I read on the way to work. Yeah. And I was like, do I need to buy a Tesla? He was like, you should buy a Tesla. But I will say, and similar situation. Yeah. He works, plays, and lives all in this little radius.
Little bubble.
He was like, if you drive a lot,
don't do
it's
it.
not the car for you.
It's not.
And I drive a
not.
lot.
It's not.
A lot.
So I would say absolutely not until they come out, which it'll happen.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would give it like 2 years until they come out with a true long range vehicle
Yeah.
where you can get like double the mileage for one charge. I would say absolutely not.
Yeah.
Because you're going to just get frustrated with having to, or I would say maybe if you had an at-home
I was going to say, I do have a home of my own.
Yeah. But then the bill, your electricity bill, like, I don't know what those Tesla wall units cost, but your electricity is probably going up like crazy. But yeah, overall, I love it.
Okay.
It's comfortable. The seats, every person ever who gets in it is confused about how to get in or out at first, but it's fine.
I know that I want one.
Yeah.
My uncle works for GM. He's a big wig in GM, General Motors. Okay. And a few months ago, I was like, Uncle Todd, give it to me straight. Electric cars.
Yeah.
What's the deal?
What did he was
say? This guy is like a very traditional, like electric cars are the future. And he was like, they're really freaking cool. Really cool stuff. He's like, but the long range thing. Yeah. And he was like, and there needs to be chargers everywhere.
That's the thing.
There's not yet. Yeah. There will be. And he was like, and we as a country or a planet really need to figure out the whole power grid thing.
Yes.
Because we don't have the power to sustain this in a healthy way.
You don't. And it's to the point where if you do a charge at a supercharger, like I've seen like 6 o'clock in the afternoon, my charge time will be longer. But that's just because like since everyone's charging at the same time, it's pulling from your charge. And so to that point, absolutely yes. And putting them maybe at every gas station, something.
Right. Like that's the thing is like, if I'm going to be like like my in-laws, they live in Nashville. So I'm going to be driving, 3 hours for holidays or birthdays or occasions. I don't want to have to, I want to be able to stop at a gas station and there be a little, it doesn't have to be huge, but off to the side, there needs to be like 3 chargers.
And it has to be a Tesla supercharger so that in your situation, you can drive up halfway to Nashville, take 35 minutes, go eat lunch, charge, and then
eat
go
lunch,
again.
Get gas. Don't have to get gas.
Get battery charge.
Yeah, that's the goal. And he was like, give it a few years. We'll be in a better place. Then go look for him. But for now, he's like, you could probably get. He was like, you'll probably get one more car in between you buying an electric car.
I would agree. And they're, still getting some kinks out. Yeah. I tend not to use autopilot too much. Yeah. Unless I'm in like really bad traffic and I'm just exhausted. Yeah. Never used the summon feature. That's a new thing they rolled out.
Oh, is that the thing where like you are just like chilling?
Yeah.
And you're just like, I need a ride. So you like push a couple buttons and it will like come to you.
Yeah.
That's kind of fire.
You can like summon your car wherever.
That's very cool.
It's super cool. I'm not going to lie, but I'm like, do I feel comfortable summoning my car? But if you drive in it and have autopilot, you understand how it moves and it makes sense. It works.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Tesla.
Hey, Elon, if you want to sponsor the pod, I'll take it. Elon, I'll take the Tesla advertising money for sure. Send me a Tesla.
Yeah.
Pay for my electric bill.
Boom. Yeah. With a wall. And give him one of those wall add-ins.
Yeah, we love that. We love that.
Yeah.
Shout out Elon.
Yeah.
Laurel, there comes a point in every conversation I have where I ask my guest a collection of questions. Okay. They're very first date questions. So it's been a minute since you've been on a date. So here we go. But they're very, very down to earth, cool questions. There's a couple deep ones in there. But for the most part, they're very chill.
Awesome.
Hey guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about the company that makes your morning drive happen every week. Are you looking to elevate your business and your brand? Hammerhead Creations is here to help. They offer top-tier marketing services, including social media management, website design, and Google page optimization, ensuring your business reaches the right audience. Whether it's a side hustle or your full-time grind, their expert team, me, is ready to help you grow. Plus, if you're into podcasting like me, Hammerhead Creations offers full support for both in-house shows and external podcast creation. From concept to production, we will help you bring your ideas to life. Visit www.hammerheadcreations.com and discover how we can take your business or your podcast or both to the next level. Hammerhead Creations, swim with the big sharks. What is your favorite movie?
Lion King. Just period.
What a fucking awesome answer. Again, you and I are the same
That's
person.
Your favorite?
It's up there.
It's up there.
For the first like 20 years of my life, it was my favorite.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, The Lion King.
The Lion King.
Easy.
It's such an easy answer because it has drama, emotion, suspense. It's every genre.
The music.
Oh my gosh.
The music.
Everything. And it's funny because I just recorded the launch video that's going to come out on the 1st.
Hell yeah.
And one of the questions in that video was my dad asking me, because he was the one interviewing me in the video.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, right. And so he was like, if Shanti Living had a theme song, what would it be? And my answer was Hakuna Matata.
Hell yeah.
So it's very on brand.
Very on brand.
Yeah.
I like that. It means no worries.
No worries.
Love that.
Yes.
Rewind before all of this, before all the things you're doing. Yeah. What was your first ever job?
My first ever official job where I had to submit an application.
Right. Yeah. Not like nannying or
Carter's. The baby clothes store.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was in retail. So, when you're 15, your only options are like fast food and retail. And I have such a sensitive nose. I'm a person, if I walk into a movie theater, I don't know, I'm whispering, but if I walk into a movie theater and it smells like spores, I'm out.
Really?
If I can smell the carpet, I can't do it.
Wow.
If it's an old movie theater, I'll have nausea.
But then on the flip side of that, if you walk into a movie theater and you just get the popcorn as soon as you walk in, are you just like...
Nope. Still no. Because I can smell that carpet.
Damn.
I'm not kidding. I've left a date before. I couldn't do it.
Damn.
Because normally when you have a movie theater with weird smelling carpet, them seats are ripped up too.
True.
And I couldn't... Anyways, I was just...
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Respect.
Carter's. So I switched to retail. I decided retail, and Carter's was my first job.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
So cute.
Rank these 3 things in order of your favorite to your least favorite.
Okay.
Got queso, guac, and salsa.
Queso's number 1, salsa's number 2, and guac is number 3. But I literally just started eating avocados a year ago.
Okay.
So I'm new
to the guac life.
To the guac life.
Okay.
I love a fresh guac, a table side, when they make it in front of you. Okay. Something about that can work for me. But I can't rip a plastic film off of a store-bought guac and just dip it. Something about that. I'm like, where was this avocado?
Yeah. How old is this?
Was it even green when you did it? What are these little things in here? Why is it seasoned?
Yeah. What's in here? What's in here? What the hell is going on?
Yeah. So I could do a fresh guac.
So queso, salsa, and guac.
Yeah. And queso that has, good thickness. Because I hate a watery queso. Oh, yeah. No one likes a watery.
I love a Taco Mat queso. Have you had Taco Mat queso?
I don't think I've had Taco Mat.
Thick AF.
Really? Is it
thick
yellow
with a Q?
Or is it more white?
It's more white.
Because I like the more white. I don't like I can't do the yellow.
No, it's more white. It's for sure white. Okay. Yeah. Thick with a Q. And it's great.
Ooh, okay. I'm going to remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. A good queso goes far.
And also your answer, queso, salsa, guac, just add that tally to the same answer.
Okay.
It's kind of comical at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Give me good salsa verde.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, delicious.
Okay. If we found out tomorrow was your last day on Earth.
Yes.
What would your last meal be?
Oh, I would go directly to Hal's Steakhouse. That's been the best steak I've had in Atlanta so far. I've only been here 3 years, by the way. So I
didn't even ask you where you're from.
Oh, I'm from Minnesota.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm from Minnesota.
So you say things like pop.
Pop. Yeah, I say soda. I was
or
soda.
Yeah.
Because you said soda, but yeah, pop.
Pop,
Sometimes my accent comes out, sometimes it doesn't. But I go back every summer for the state fair.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
I'm from Illinois, so really? I get it. Oh, yeah. The Midwest.
Man, Chicago was big city.
Right.
For us, because nothing's up there.
Right.
But yeah, Minnesota, I grew up.
Hell yeah. I went to Minnesota this year for the first time.
Wow.
My sister was in college swimming, and they hold I guess, nationals in Minnesota for some reason.
That sounds right, because I'm sure Minnesota has the biggest pool with the best logistics system.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the way that Minnesota is set up in comparison to here, a lot of money is concentrated in each city. So in each city or town, like you'll have a 30-minute drive. You could have like not 30, but like 20-minute driving distance between towns. But each town has everything that
Yes,
town needs.
everything.
You know what I mean? So you could have each town having Olympic-sized swimming pools with all the things just because that town made sure that high school had everything it needed. So
Wow.
that's pretty normal there, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. I had some bomb-ass pizza when I was there because I used to work at a company and I had a coworker that was from Minnesota and he was like, go to this pizza place.
Do you remember what it's called?
Oh,
is it Devani's?
I have to dig.
Okay.
I have to dig for it, but I'll find it.
Devani's is a chain that had like deep dish, but I would go for the hoagies. So good. Way better than Subway, them hoagies. And then they had that shredded lettuce. Chef's kiss too.
What was that pizza place you told me?
It makes me want to actually go there when I visit, but
I'm going to get him to tell me before we go. The one
I'm curious.
I went to. It was so good. Like the sauce was sweet.
Was it a deep dish?
No, it was very like it was little square pieces.
Oh, they love that. Yeah.
Oh.
See, in those square pieces, they'll have a lot of meat concentration per square because it's small squares, and normally pizza like that they put more toppings because you gotta have.
Yes.
I call it per square inch. more toppings per square inch. I get it. Yeah. Yeah, tell me if he tells you.
Stupid, but very clever. Yes, I will tell you as soon as he responds. Okay, next up, you get to organize a music festival. Ooh. Who are your 3 headliners?
3? Ooh, I feel like Sade. Wait, hold on, dang.
Stumped you with that one.
You did. Okay, Burna Boy. If he had
deal with that one.
You did. Okay, let me full live band.
This picture of, I guess, her uncle in the grocery store.
The crazy picture with the squash.
Suggestive. Did I say that right? It's a suggestive squash. And it's very suggestive.
That is so random.
I've zoomed in and it's very...
I want to know who took
very suggestive.
It is very suggestive. It's fine. I want to know who took the picture. Was he with someone?
I need to respond and say,
yeah, ask her.
I've got a few questions.
I have some follow-up questions for you.
Who is that?
And who took the picture of the
Who
squash?
took the pic? And
oh
what?
Gosh.
Okay.
Yes.
Man, lots of stuff to dig into before you go.
Yes.
Yes, music.
Okay, so Burna Boy to fulfill my love for Afrobeats.
Okay.
I'll say, should I say Sade? Or Shaka Khan?
Interesting answers.
One of those two for a good old school R&B. And then I gotta say Snow Allegra for the 3rd, just because she was my one solo concert that I cried at.
Love that.
I love her. So,
love that.
Yeah.
Love a good concert cry.
Yeah. Oh man. Alone. And also we need to normalize going to concerts alone. That's another like know yourself thing. But if you enjoy some good music, I know it can feel awkward, but get a good seat. Sit down the whole time.
Treat yourself.
Sit down the whole time if you don't feel comfortable getting up with a drink, and just no one the thing is no one cares.
Yeah,
like
no one's looking around and like that loser's here by themselves.
Right.
No one cares.
We put so much emphasis on that when in reality, like no one cares.
I go to the movies by myself a lot. All the time.
I love that. Oh, me, I bring a tote bag.
Oh, you have to.
Oh, I bring a blanket. So my routine is I go to Beto's Tacos.
Okay.
Get my drink, my tacos, eat, and then I shouldn't do this, but like I refill my drink and just sit it upright in my structured tote. Mm-hmm. Blanket, snacks, chips, go right in there.
Hell yeah.
Have a time. Love it.
Yeah. Have a time.
Yep.
I have an update on the suggestive squash.
Okay, what's going on?
It is a random person. She's apparently in an Aldi loving Facebook group, like the grocery store, Aldi.
Yeah.
which is news to me.
And they have a Facebook group?
Weird.
Okay.
I saw it. This is literally what she said in response. I saw it on Facebook in my Aldi group. So we don't know who this man is. I assume this was a family member. And
you know what? I will say, just
it's a big ass squash.
It is. And just from the interaction between you and your wife, I can tell you guys are besties. Because your bestie is the only person you can send like an unprovoked picture like that. And then her explanation was so like
just bland.
Just no clarification outside of it was in an Aldi's group chat from Facebook, which is like, I have more questions.
Who the fuck is this guy?
So kudos to you and your wife.
I'm making it my wallpaper.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Fall season. It's very.
Hey,
it's very, yeah.
Squash. I can't wait to send that to everybody, that same picture. We talked about this a few times, but I want to hit the nail on the head here.
Okay, cool.
What does a self-care day look like for you?
Oh, okay. So if I had unlimited resources. Unlimited resources for a self-care day with just me.
No work, no friends, no nothing.
No work,
just
no friends,
you.
No nothing, just me. Okay. So I would wake up around 9:30 naturally, no alarm.
Naturally,
no alarm. I would have someone come to do my hair and makeup for me, because who's doing anything? And then have my cute outfit laid out. I would be picked up, because who's driving, and be taken to one of my favorite breakfast spots, which I love breakfast. Like, if I could have breakfast 3 meals a day.
That's a hill you'll die on.
Oh yeah. Sign me. The only reason I don't is because I have to eat vegetables. But if I couldn't, if like that was off of the pyramid, I could eat breakfast every day. So anyways, I go have breakfast. And then I would go for some type of body care treatment, massage. Actually, yeah, I would go for a massage, probably go shopping, go like walk around at like the botanical gardens, have a nap.
We love a nap.
Oh my God.
We love like a nice crisp 2:00 nap.
Yes. Yeah, with cool air on the hammock with Wi-Fi and the snacks.
Wi-Fi is not important because we're sleeping, but we want to make sure it's there in case I wake up.
Because if I get disrupted by my rain sounds playing because the Wi-Fi cut off, I'm going to wake up.
We just started sleeping to ambient or whatever, white noise.
Try brown noise. I'm not going to lie to you.
Brown noise.
Brown noise is, and I'm going to just play a bit for
Please
people.
do.
Brown noise is, to me, a bit better than white noise, only because it has more of a warm tone.
I don't see color with my noise.
Right. We don't see color with our noise. It has like this warm tone to it.
Okay. I'm interested.
It kind of hugs you in the right way.
Ooh.
If that makes sense.
I love an audio that hugs me.
That hugs you in the right? Okay. Yep. See. So the one I play is brown noise with deep bass.
Deep bass.
Yeah.
So it's heavy.
It's heavy. It almost sounds like a wave that's constant, like a wave, like a rumbling wave that's constant, that's deeper. And
my head is like tingling.
It's like you put this on repeat and plug it up to a charger, you're good.
It almost sounds like the sound of your tires as you're driving.
Yes.
Like, but just very loud.
Very loud.
On a smooth road.
That has no bumps in it.
Brown noise.
Brown noise. The other plug I will give, shout out to Janae Aiko. So Janae Aiko, R&B artist, she actually created a lullaby album. Well, I'm assuming for her own kids, but forget the kids. That album has gotten me through so many long flights.
Fuck the kids.
No, seriously, fuck the kids. Because this album is called Sleep Soul. 2 volumes. And it's gotta be, I haven't even heard past song 5 in both of the, because I'm always knocked out.
Damn.
By the time.
Send it to me.
Yeah, I got you. This is like a clip. Let me, out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Send it to me for sure.
I got you.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Love that.
Mm-hmm. Let me share.
So after the nap, what are you doing in this self-care day?
another
well, the tangents.
So after the nap, I'm definitely doing another body care. So I'll probably go to like Spa Land or something, do like whirlpool, cold plunge, another massage of some sorts, like releasing any body tension, and then wrap it up at Hal's Steakhouse.
Love that.
Yeah. And
Love
then
that.
sleep by 9:30.
That sounds great.
I know. Fresh sheets too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's the best.
Yes.
Ooh.
I know. Cracked window.
Ooh.
Dang.
Don't tease me with a good time.
Ooh, don't tease me with the cross breeze.
Cross breeze.
That's what my dad would call it in the house. When you open up all those windows and that breeze comes, it's called a cross breeze. Dad will just knock you out.
Damn.
Cross breeze.
All right. We've talked about this a little bit as well, but what does success mean to you?
Okay, so I'll give you my dream end goal picture, because I would ask any client this, if you had unlimited resources, what does your dream world look like? Sometimes that's too big of a question, so I'll say dream day. But for me, it is being able to purchase a plot of land, maybe like somewhere in North Georgia, where I have like my nice long driveway with all the trees, and I have my house that has like a mini spa in it that has a steam room, sauna, all that. You drive to the, take the little golf cart to the left, and is my garden. And I have my friends and family that can come see me. That's it.
That's awesome.
If Shanti Living could bring me to a point where I could get that, I'm good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is something that very little people know about you?
I'm actually crazy.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I talk to myself all the time. I am so quirky and weird. I will sing into a fan like T-Pain and have a time. I am like the most I shouldn't say this, but I shouldn't say this, but
say it.
Like, my friends, like, I'm a crackhead. Like, have you like I'm the friend. I have my professional polished version, but in reality, when I'm with my friends, I'm a goofball. I'm very funny. I'm very sarcastic. Like, if you actually get to know me, I'm unserious.
Wow.
I'm a serious person who can be very unserious.
Wow.
Yeah, because you can't take things too serious ever.
I agree.
It causes stress.
I make jokes probably I shouldn't make. That my friends are like, "Come on, man!" I'm like, but someone's got to make them.
Someone's got to make them. And my dad has dark humor.
Oh,
so I grew up on.
Oh, so your dad's making some jokes.
Oh yeah, like I grew up on holding in laughs, seeing someone trip. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You have that, yeah.
Dude, this is about to sound horrible too, but I've admitted this publicly, so it's okay. It's okay. It's not breaking news.
Okay.
I sometimes, if I am, overwhelmed by the sheer amount of streaming that we have with services and movies and shows and everything, I'll go on YouTube and I will type in like 2025 epic fails.
Oh yeah.
And I'll just watch like hour-long videos of people falling down the stairs.
When I tell you,
and I think it's funny as shit. Or when people slip on their stairs because it's icy outside.
So you were one of those people back when AFV was out. You were watching.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude, we used to gather as a family and watch that.
AFV.
Dude.
Was it.
Tom Bergeron.
And
now it's the Carlton from Fresh Prince.
He's the new one? He's the new house?
Yeah.
They instead of AFV now, I think they transitioned to Ridiculousness. Have you seen Ridiculousness? That's like a more intense version, but equally as funny.
Dude, I love watching people fall off of shit. It's so funny. Maybe heartless.
No, it's not, because growing up in the Midwest, like, you have limited options, okay? So one thing we're going to do is watch AFV.
Yes.
Watch people fall off of icy stuff. Watch people, fall out of, above ground pools because everyone has one.
Facts.
Yeah, I get it.
We love it.
Yeah,
oh, man. Another tally.
Another tally.
Another tally. On the flip side of this, what is something that you draw the line at? I hate using this word because it's thrown around so much, but like, what triggers you? Like, what are you just like, nah, don't fuck with that?
So I'm not gonna lie, I am the queen of boundary setting. So it's not even, I don't even get to a point where I can be triggered most of the time. Majority of the time, I am very quick. most of the time I'm able and quick to identify when a person, place, or thing is impeding on the level of peace and fulfillment that I've been explaining. So it doesn't matter what it is. It could be a friend who I maybe feel like, okay, me pouring more into this person is going to drain me. It can be a relationship. It can be anything. And I'm quick to be like, you know what? Respectfully, I'm always respectful, but respectfully, this just isn't working for me. And I think that it's best that we part ways. Or, when you did this the other day, it really rubbed me the wrong way to the point where I don't feel like I can reconcile in this relationship. Oh, yeah.
You're hitting people with the truth.
Yes. Because if
you were letting that hairdresser know that they fucked up your beard.
Oh, yeah. At the end of an appointment like that, be like, thank you for the service today. Thank you for this, Bob. This isn't exactly what I was looking for, but I appreciate your time. If I want to say that. And I only do that in situations where the person is arrogant or rubbing me the wrong way. Sure. Then I'll give that.
To the point where you're like, what? Fuck this.
They need a teens back, okay?
Just a teens.
Just a teens. You can be respectful but pointed. But yeah, I'm very quick to draw the line and walk away from situations.
Is there any kind of so with like the dark joke thing in mind, is there any kind of dark joke I make that you're like, nah?
No, not that I've heard. I was at a comedy show the other day. It was like a mental health panel comedy show situation.
Interesting blend there.
It was an interesting blend, but I'm not going to lie. It was good. It gave a bit of relief to the seriousness of the mental health talk.
Sure.
It was pretty surface level, but nonetheless, dang, I lost my train of thought. I was talking
Comedy show.
Thank you. The topic that this one comic brought up that I didn't like is he was making a joke about deaf people. And he was lining it up to the point where everyone knew he was about to make a noise, right?
Oh, no.
And it's not that it can't be funny. It's fine. It's not that it can't be funny. The issue with it was he did it. He freaking did it. And it was like it was a cringe moment. It wasn't a funny.
It was like
because sometimes people can be tastefully funny about all groups.
Yeah.
But this was one of those. I have really bad, like just how you said, your FOMO can be crippling sometimes. Yeah. I have crippling secondhand embarrassment. I have a physical, I will contort in my chair. I remember I was like holding on.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're like, oh God.
Me. Oh God. I got to find something to hold on to. And when he did, I was like, oh God. So stuff like that, if it turns to cringe.
Yeah.
That's when I'm like, okay, please stop. But otherwise, no.
Like, have you seen that GIF? I'm sure you have that GIF of or that clip of, it's like a shot of like WWE and it's like Joe Rogan and the other announcers and like somebody does some shit crazy and Joe's like, he like grabs the other guy. He's like, oh my fucking God.
Literally. Like what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was.
Wow.
Like that, yeah.
That's awesome. What's your biggest fear?
I think my biggest fear would be to let God down as far as fulfilling my purpose. That has to be it.
It's deep.
I think that's the one thing that I'm making a promise to myself to never do, just because I have so much clarity about that being my purpose. That's the only thing I could do where I could look back and be like, oh, disappointed, or I'd be scared of doing that. Yeah.
It's deep, but it's true.
It's true.
And then lastly, my friend,
yes,
10 years from now.
Oh, goodness.
Where are you?
10 years from now, personally, I would love to be considered a thought leader in the world. And
THOUGHT, not THOT.
Yeah, thought leader. Up here.
I'm playing.
And for Shanti Living, I think Shanti Living being a partner in that. Yeah, I really think that there's space for mental health to develop in the sense of it being more of a digestible, easy thing. I think we've just, there's been a lot of overcomplication and buzz around mental health. What does it mean to be, like terms like, high and low functioning that have been thrown around in social media, or high and low value, those kinds of things. I'm not into that. I believe in words. I believe that semantics and words matter. And I'm more of an advocate for, listen, there is it's not about high and low, because that's a bit polarizing anyway. It's about healthy living. There is a way we can define healthy living, and everyone is somewhere on that scale, trying to reach that healthy living point. And I think it's as simple as that. I don't think that there has to be all this hoopla. There's healthy living, there's a good state of mental health, and we're all just on a journey to get there. That's really it.
It's a great answer.
Yeah.
Great answer. So now, my friend, I will let you, because it is mid-January or early January.
Yeah.
Shanti Living is a thing. It is established. It is open for business. Now is your time to just advertise, plug yourself, plug the business, let people know how to find the business, how to find you, everything in between.
So my name on Instagram is dr.laurel Cannon. I changed my name recently because I was like, no one's stealing that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And then Shanti Living is going to, it'll be launched and good to go on Instagram. So you can find it at Shanti Living _ on Instagram. The link directly to the booking site will be right on that homepage. And you can find the link to Shanti Living's page on my personal. So you can find that whichever way. And Shanti Living is open for bookings, open for appointments. I don't charge for consultations. So there's 15-minute free consultation that you can select when you go in the site. And I offer both 30-minute and hour time slots. I do accept insured patients or insured clients. Sorry, my work role clicked in. Insured clients. And the way that I usually do that is just have people upload their insurance documentation and we go from there. But I just don't want anyone to be excluded. I want everyone to have open access to, Shanti Living and the care that we provide.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Laurel, thank you so much for doing this with me. It was as much fun as I thought it was going to be.
I know. What time is it? Oh my gosh, it's 8:43. We've been chatting for
2 hours and 2 minutes.
Wow. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy how it goes by like that?
Really fast.
Fast.
Yeah. Well, this has been an honor. You are my very first podcast.
Wow.
Speaking just in general. And on top of that, right before, Shanti Living goes live.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. And shout out to Candace.
Yeah. Shout out to Candace for making this happen. I, before doing this, of course, did in my light stalking, realize that you're really awesome and you work hard for what you want. And I respect that tremendously. And I just can't wait to see you win and the business win and just keep kicking ass.
Thank you so much.
And I can't wait to see you win.
Yes. Yeah. My message to anyone listening is just be healthy, be well, and be blessed. And if you can be all those things, you're going to be okay.
Let's freaking go. Yeah. Be healthy, be well, and be blessed.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Yes.
Guys, I'll make sure that I throw the information for Shanti Living in the description of the episode so that you can quickly navigate to it and book her services. And you can get your mind, get your life, and get your world right with her services. So again, like I said at the top, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for listening, watching, digesting, however you prefer. Follow on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok. And we appreciate it so much. See you guys next time. Take care.